So I'm back, and I was gonna, change shirts to try to trick everybody that I wasn't one-shotting most of this. But, at least I changed chairs. So let's get into it. So the part of this episode is how we came up with the idea. So if you remember episode 1, we talked about this dude named Frank Casuto, who's really awesome. You should check him out. Casuto Illustrations is where he's at on all the socials. But anyways, he has great art. And we were trying to, put this together. And then a big piece that was kind of cool was like Mike and I had done this wrestling game, way back when, like when we were 22. We're both 40 now, so we're old dudes now, called Submission, which is great. It's a great experience. And the artwork, which Frank did, was outstanding. And we were like, you know what? Well, Mike came to me and was like, hey, listen, I kind of want to turn the Submission artwork into NFTs. And I was like, dude, anything with submission, I'm all in. I'm like, yes, do whatever, go crazy, whatever you want to do. So he did it, and just like the thing with Frank, it didn't sell. So, all right. So we're sitting there, and then we get together, and I'm like pitching all these crazy ideas. I'm like, hey, Mike, we should do this one called Hot Potato. And he's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then, no joke, the next day, it came out, like it was already a thing. And then we talked about like doing kind of like a lottery, but we didn't know the laws. And then he just had this epiphany, like blockchain of fame. And like it just kept sticking. And he looked, and the website was available. And I'm like, yo, just buy the website. And he's like, yeah, I just did. And we're like, cool. This is a cool idea. Like what can we do? So, without getting too in-depth on our project, because that will come to light, and you can always feel free to DYOR, do your own research, like they always say. But we kind of wanted to do almost like a blockchain version of the Walk of Fame. And we were like, this is really cool. And it's funny because a lot of times I'm very over the top, type A personality, push. And for some reason this go around, I kind of was like, you know what? This is Mike's thing. I'm going to take a back seat, and I'm not going to push him to do it. I'll, throw some encouraging words, on occasion. And sure enough, Mike decided to come around and say, hey, I can't get this idea out of my head. You want to do it? And I was like, yes, I do, Mike. I do. You got down on one knee, and I said yes. So we decided to partner up once again. And I'm going to, toss it over to Mike now and let him fill you in a little bit more on the blockchain of fame and how he kind of came up with the idea and all that good stuff. So thanks for watching. We are running a lot of cool promotion for our blockchain of fame NFT. So feel free to hit us up on our socials at BOFNFT. We have a Discord. We have our website, blockchainoffame.com. And we're really trying to grow the community organically. But again, I'm sure Mike will cover that at the end of this episode. So thanks for watching my part. Check out his. Bye.
All right, everyone. So episode 2, going to follow up from what Chris was saying earlier. Where did the idea, where was it born? So we basically, I was thinking around, I want to create something that's interesting. For my whole life, I always was like, I have an idea. I want to try this. I want to try that. I'll be doing that for the rest of my life, right? I'll be thinking of things and perhaps not pursuing it, but always creative thinking. I used to love graphic design. I used to do some graphic design. So art, technology, total tech nerd, that's always been the thing. And, I was thinking about my circle of friends and even trying to explain NFTs when we first started this project. It was like explaining, calculus to kindergartners, right? It's like if you're not in the space, you don't understand the terms, you will never really understand until you sort of start hearing it slowly and kind of grasping the concept and seeing examples. And so, we started looking at that. I started Board Apes Yacht Club. That's like the golden standard, right? And, all these other little projects. And we want to do something different, right? I'm like, I want like there's different halls of fames for sports, music, movies, right? We see all this Hollywood. And I was like, well, this could be NFT driven by the community. You induct yourself, right? You put yourself, but there are only going to be 5,000 spots ever. There's so many people in the world, and NFTs are growing and crypto's growing. There's only going to be 5,000 spots that people own who will be part of this blockchain of fame, right? And we wanted the art to be killer. You know, we had to think about starting there. And to be honest, it took us a month and a half to just make an art decision. That was our biggest holdup in the beginning. You know, then after that, it was like, well, all right, well, I think we have a concept now. Now, where do we go from there? So we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but that's sort of where it started. It was, you know, the unique thing is about this idea of like putting your name on it, right? So you're inducting yourself. And, you know, with NFTs, it's the resale value. And so that was always a little bit of a question, like, well, someone may not want to just mint this as a collector who's a spot in the blockchain of fame. Maybe they want to resell it at some point. And so we had to solve that problem in a little bit differently. But, you know, the way it is when you mint now, and you'll see once we launch, it's, you know, you will customize it, which is kind of different. And look at it more like a collector, more of a permanent sort of hold. But you know, we have some ideas on how that could grow a little bit. But so we're really excited. We'll expand some more. But blockchain of fame is where we sort of landed, and you know, and the next parts will really explain how we kind of worked towards getting close to launch.